Hello, my name is Julia Swartz and I am a parapsychotherapist. As discussed in the last video, I'm going to have a series of educational videos around how the ancient arts can inform and assist in psychotherapy. I've been practicing psychotherapy for 30 years and have also studied mediumship, tarot, astrology, the Kabbalah, and numerology. And I found through my work that integrating these ancient arts rapidly assists, guides, and helps with the process of psychotherapy. And so today we're going to start with the suit cards connected to the aces, because aces are the beginnings. So this series of videos and what I will be talking about is based on the foundational belief that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And so why? Why would we do that? If we are pure in our spirit form, why would we manifest into a physical body? Why would we do that? And the reason is that the only way to grow is through experience. And the only way to experience is in a physical body. And so by taking this journey and asking ourselves to learn a set of life lessons that come through our soul contract, we'll talk more about that. Inherent in that is experiences that we'll have that we can take the life lesson from. We can choose not to take that life lesson. And if we don't, Eastern philosophers talk about karma, and that situation will show up again and again in our life over time until we master it. Freud talked about the repetition compulsion, and that we were hardwired to repeat these patterns over and over again until we mastered them. So two different perspectives giving us the same information. And so in the tarot, there are two parts. There's the minor arcana, which is the suit cards, and there's the major arcana, which represent when we take that leap from spirit through our lifetime. There are 21 cards. It seems like it makes the most amount of sense to introduce the suits first so that you have an understanding of those suits. And so I'm going to use two decks. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite, which is most people are familiar with, and I'm also going to use the Conley deck that was developed by a woman named Eileen Conley. She also has a book that goes with her deck if you're interested. I find these images beautiful. A lot of people give feedback that the images and the Rider-Waite can be scary. There's nothing scary about the tarot. We are only going to pull cards that want to raise from an unconscious level to our consciousness what we're asking ourselves to learn and understand in this moment. Similarly to a Rorschach card. Dr. Rorschach was a psychologist who developed a series of ink block cards to look at understanding the unconscious better. These are examples of how psychology and these ancient arts can be blended together and used together. So we're going to start off with the aces in the minor arcana because that's the beginning. The first card that I've chosen is the Ace of Pentacles. That's the traditional Rider-Waite. This is the Ace of Pentacles in the Conley deck. Pentacles represent earth energy, all things on the earthly plane. Our work, our money, our home, essentially our stuff. And it reminds us to have balance around those things on the material plane. Yes, we have to eat food. We also want to honor Mother Earth. Yes, we have to work. Do we get bogged down and tied down by material things and things we think we have to have? Good question. And aces represent beginnings. It represents ourself. It's the energy of I am. So it's about new beginnings. Aces of Pentacles can be new beginnings around money. They can mean new jobs. They can mean having a new attitude about money and things on the material plane. They represent new beginnings around all earthly things. Next, we're going to look at the sword cards. And swords are our lesson teachers. Swords are connected to the element of air and our cognition and how we think. And it's important to remember that everything in life is a double-edged sword. Pay attention to our attitude and how we think about things. There's always more than one way to look at something or have perspective on it. This is the Ace of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. And this is the Ace of Swords in the Conley deck. The Ace of Swords can sometimes represent the sword of justice. Sticking the sword into the ground, staking your claim, right? Thinking about how we think, which in psychology is called metacognition. Pay attention to your thoughts, your attitude, what you think about, what you put your attention on. It's a law of quantum physics that what we put our attention on expands. Again, aces are new beginnings. Maybe you're thinking about something in a new way. Maybe you're charting a new course around your inner self and how you think about things. Remember, it's our lesson teacher, and it's that I am energy. The next element is cups, and cups is connected to the element of water. And just like water flows, we want our emotions to flow. Our emotions should flow, right? When we have a feeling and we let it in and it gets stuck, that can lead to depression. When we have feelings and we say, not going there, not thinking about that, nope, not feeling that, that can lead to anxiety. So recognizing our emotions, giving them a label, letting them in, and letting them out is how we want our emotions to flow. The Ace of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck looks like this. You can see the overflowing of emotion as the water flows out of the cup. And in the Conley deck, it looks like this. So the Ace of Cups can represent new relationships. It can represent new ways of feeling about something. New beginnings connected to emotions. That's the Ace of Cups. The next element is fire. And fire represents our spirit, our higher self, our connection to the divine. Wands represent positive growth and change. And so the wand in the Rider-Waite deck looks like this. And for those of you who are interested or paying attention, there's also the astrological connections in this deck. I'm not going to go there because I don't want to overwhelm people. This is the Ace of Wands in the Conley deck. And so again, aces is that new beginning. It's about me. It's a start. It's about looking at myself. Positive growth and change represented to yourself. When this card shows up, it might mean a new spiritual journey that you're going to take. It might mean that you've asked yourself to grow in new ways that you haven't connected to in the past. So these are the elements: earth, air, water, fire. Pentacles, swords, cups, and wands. And in the next video, we'll start with the major arcana and connect those to the human condition and what we're asking ourselves to learn. Thank you for listening. I so appreciate you, and we'll take this journey together. Thank you. Bye-bye.